Okay, so now we are going to do professions. Les métiers or les professions is professions. Les métiers or les professions. Remember, S-I-O sounds like a Z-I-O, profession. Les métiers, professions. So, let's read them. Un peintre, un peintre, un peintre. Okay, your R at the end has to sound. Un peintre, a painter. If it's a female, of course the E at the end. There's already E there, so no need to add. And it becomes une peintre, un peintre. Un banquier, a banker. Okay, un banquier. If it's a female, banquière, you add E at the end. Okay. Un comptable, an accountant. Since there's already an E at the end, you don't add for the female. Comptable. Le photographer. Already E at the end, so don't add for the female. Un masseur, masseur. Okay, if it's a female masseur, you remove the R, okay, and then you add SE. The same thing we did for what were we doing? The same thing we did for emotions, that we saw EUX and then we change the X to SE. The same thing you do with profession, you change the R to SE for EUR. EUR will change to EUSE. So masseuse is what you want to say for the feminine. Une masseuse. Okay, a DJ is un DJ, the same thing. Un DJ. Une secrétaire, a secretary, secrétaire. Un charpentier. Okay, that's for carpenter. If it's a female, you add E, charpentière. Jardinier, for gardener. Not ja. Don't tell me jardinier, okay? Jardinier. If it's a girl, you add E. Nettoyeur, le nettoyeur. That's for cleaner. Remember, if it's female, you remove the R and then you change it to SE. Nettoyeuse, cleaner. Le soudeur, welder. If it's a girl, remove the R, SE. Soudeuse, soudeur. Okay, médecin is doctor. If it's a female, don't change it, it's the same thing. Médecin, don't add E, do not add E. This is a special one. Okay, veterinarian. Since it already has E, do not add another one. Okay, le juge is George. Since it already has an E, do not add another one. Le détective is a detective. Already has a letter E, so don't add another one. Le policier, office, police, or police officer. Policier, you add E for the woman. Policière is how you pronounce it. Policière, policière. Le maçon. Remember the little tail under that C, changing the C sound to an S. Le maçon. If it's a female maçon, double the N, then you add E at the end. Okay, le coiffeur, quoi. Remember O-I, oua, like a moi. Coiffeur. You remember the rule? If it's a female, you remove the R and then you add SE. Coiffeuse. Okay, that's for hairdresser or barber. Le pompier is firefighter. Pompier. If it's a female, you add E at the end. Pompière. Okay, cuisinier, cook. If it's a female, you add E at the end. Cuisinière is how you pronounce it. Cuisinière. Tailleur, le tailleur. Remember, IL sounds like a Y. Tailleur, tailleur is a tailor. A tailor, tailleur. Feminine, yes. Tailleuse. Remove the R, change it to an SE. Tailleuse. La tailleuse, okay? Mailman or postman is le facteur. Le facteur. Le facteur. Remember, remove the R to SE for the female. Facteuse. Facteur. Okay, danseur for dancer. Danseur. Female, danseuse. Remove the R, change it to an SE. Sculpteur. You already know the feminine for this one, right? Sculpteur. Feminine, sculpteuse. Le politicien. Le politicien. Politician. Okay, for this type, when it's a female, you double the N and then you add E. The same thing we did for maçon. Politicienne is what we will say for the female. La politicienne. Politicien, politicienne. Okay, for the butcher, somebody that cuts meat, you say boucher. Boucher. Remember, CH sounds like an SH. So you don't say che, you say she. Boucher. If it's a girl, of course, you add E. Boucher. Boucher, la bouchère. Minor, mineur. Mineur. You already know the female, right? Mineuse. Mineuse. Okay, baker, boulanger. Boulanger. For the female, you add E. Boulangère. That's how you pronounce it. Boulangère. For a nurse, infirmière. You see the ear that we adding E. There's an accent on those second to the last E's in all those ones. Infirmière. Okay. If it's a male, infirmier. Okay, just ER, no E at the end. And no accent on the E. Infirmier for the male. Infirmière for the female. The next one, la serveuse. You can guess the masculine, right? You remove the SE and you replace it with an R. Serveur. Le serveur for waiter. Okay, not be waitress anymore. Waiter. Serveuse for waitress. Okay, the next one, professeur. Professeur can be used for both masculine and feminine. Of course, there is professeuse, but you hardly hear that. Is an old way of saying it for the female. Professeur. Électricien. Un électricien. Electrician. Of course, for the female, you double the N and you add an E. Électricien. Okay. An avocat. Avocat. Yeah, I know it sounds like the fruit avocado. Avocat is a lawyer. It's actually the same name we use for avocado in French too. Avocat, a lawyer or barrister. If it's a female, you add E at the end. So avocat. Pronounce it T. Avocat. Okay. Then architect. Architect. Pronounce it T. It's not the last letter. Architect. That's for architect or architect. Un physicien is one I-O. That's SICIEN. Is a typo. Un physicien, a physician. Of course, if it's a female, double the N, then you add E. Physicien, physicienne. Le fleuriste. 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 That's florist. It already has a letter E, so you do not add anymore. Fleuriste. Fleur actually means flower, so fleuriste is florist. Un explorateur. Explorateur. Explorer, explorateuse for the feminine. Un pêcheur. Pêcheur, fisherman. Pêcheuse, okay, fisherwoman. Un fermier. Fermier is farmer. Fermier. Then fermière, you add E at the end, is a female farmer. Un acteur. Acteur, okay, for actor. Acteur. And then the female actor is actually different. You will not say acteurs, you will say actrice. A-C-T-R-I-C-E. Actrice. A-C-T-R-I-C-E. Actrice. Okay, is an exception. Okay, the next one, an astronaut. AU sounds O. Astronaut. An astronaut. An astronaut. Since it already has an E, you don't add another one. A dentist. A dentist. A dentist. A dentist. A dentist. Okay. With the E at the end, you don't need to add another one for the female. A garagiste. As a car mechanic, a garagist actually. Garagiste, then a mécanicien, mécanicien for the mechanic. Okay, mécanicien, double the N with the E to make it in the feminine form, mécanicien. Okay, une caissière, caissière. Caissière is a cashier. If it's a male, you say caissier without the E at the end and without that accent on the E. Caissier. Un enseignant, un enseignant, enseignant, gnang. Get the G and give that gnang. Enseignant, teacher or instructor. It's like professor, okay? They are synonyms. The enseignant is mostly, anyway, they are synonyms, okay? If it's a female, you add E at the end. Enseignante. Un scientifique. Scientifique is a scientist, okay? Un homme d'affaires. Un homme d'affaires. The H is silent. Un homme d'affaires. A businessman. If it's a woman, of course, you just change the homme to woman. Une femme d'affaires. Une femme d'affaires. Okay? When we were doing members of the family, you saw it. Femme d'affaires. Businesswoman. Une journaliste or un journaliste, okay, both of them is the same spelling. Le plombier, plombier, plumber. If it's a female, you add E at the end. Plombière, plombier, plombière. Le chauffeur, chauffeur, driver. Un ingénieur, un ingénieur. Okay, engineer. Of course, feminine, ingénieuse with an SE. Un programmeur, programmer, programmeur. If it's feminine, of course, programmeuse, right? Un chirurgien, surgeon, chirurgien. If it's a female, double NE, chirurgienne. Okay. Un pilote, pilote is pilot. It already has the letter E, so no need adding another one for the female. Un pâtissier, pâtissier, pastry chef. Then you add E for the female, pâtissière. Okay, un plongeur, plongeur is diver. Of course, the female, plongeuse, SE. Un vendeur is seller or a salesman. Okay, if it's female, you say vendeuse. So sentences, there are some exercises down there too. Les phrases, sentences. Qu'est-ce que tu fais dans la vie? Qu'est-ce que tu fais dans la vie? What do you do for a living or in life? Qu'est-ce que tu fais dans la vie? You cannot answer je suis. You tell me avocat, I'm a lawyer. Je suis whatever you are, okay? Notes, you don't use an article, okay? In English, you say I am a lawyer. But French won't put that A. You just say I am lawyer. Straight to the point. If you see an article there, that means it's a mistake. Quand je serai grand, j'aimerais devenir docteur. When I'll be older, I'd love to become a doctor. Quand je serai grand, j'aimerais devenir docteur. Ok, numéro 4, number 4. Quel est votre métier, monsieur? Quel est votre métier, monsieur? What's your profession, sir? Or, quelle est votre profession, monsieur? Same thing. Cette dame est actrice. Look at the actrice I was telling you. This woman or damsel, not damsel, like woman or madame, is an actress. So you fill in the spaces, the exercise below. I help